He walks down a hallway, holding a simple cardboard box, looking just like any other employee. Then, a hand appears from the right side of the frame. It silently offers a single sheet of paper. On it, a brutal, stark red X. No words are exchanged. No explanation is given, just one unspoken message: you're out. And the man holding that box is Steve Jobs. It was supposed to be a perfect day. Steve arrived at the office, his mind buzzing with ideas. He was about to pitch a bold new direction for the company he co-founded, a leap into the future that only he could see. He was confident, laser-focused, dressed in his signature uniform, the black turtleneck, the simple blue jeans, the round glasses. This was his arena, his creation. But today the air felt different. It was cold, unnaturally still. People in the hallways, people he had hired, mentored, and worked with for years, suddenly found the floor incredibly interesting. They avoided his gaze. Whispers would abruptly stop the moment he rounded a corner. A strange, invisible wall had been erected overnight, and he was on the wrong side of it. He felt it in his gut, a knot of unease tightening with every step he took toward the boardroom. He dismissed it as pre-meeting jitters. The tension before a big push. He couldn't have been more wrong. The meeting took place behind frosted glass, a fortress of translucent silence. We can't see the faces clearly, just blurred silhouettes moving with agitation. We can't hear the full conversation, only muffled fragments that leak through the door like poison. Fragments of doubt, fragments of fear. "It's just too risky, Steve," a voice would murmur. "We need stability, predictable growth," another would insist. "You're not listening to us. You never listen." His own voice, sharp and passionate, tried to cut through the wall of resistance. He was pleading, arguing, trying to make them see the vision, the one that burned so brightly in his mind. But their expressions were set, their minds closed. The decision had already been made, long before he even walked into that room. The meeting wasn't a discussion, it was a formality, a corporate execution. The door swings open, and the silence that follows is louder than any argument. There's no handshake, no polite, "Thank you for your service." Just a single sheet of paper slid across the polished table toward him. It lands with a soft, final thud. On it, that stark, brutal red X. It wasn't just ink on paper. It was a judgment, a final, definitive stamp of rejection. He freezes, his eyes widen in disbelief, his brain struggling to process the signal. It's like watching a film in a language you don't understand. The image is there, but the meaning is so alien, so impossible, that your mind refuses to accept it. This is his company, his life's work. How could this be happening? The world around him slowed to a crawl, the air thick and heavy, each tick of the clock a hammer blow against his shattered reality. Then came the final indignity, the walk of shame. Someone hands him an empty cardboard box. The universal symbol of a career abruptly ended. He numbly begins to fill it, a desk lamp, a tiny neglected plant, a cup full of pencils, the small mundane artifacts of a life he thought he was building, now reduced to trinkets in a box of shame. As he walks down that long, sterile hallway, the office becomes a stage for his humiliation. People pretend to be engrossed in their work, typing furiously at nothing. A few brave souls glance up, their eyes filled with a mixture of pity and fear, before quickly looking away. They don't want to be associated with failure. The hallway, a path he'd walked 1,000 times with purpose and pride, now feels impossibly long, an endless corridor of silent judgment. Every step is heavier than the last, the weight of the box nothing compared to the crushing weight on his soul. Inside his head, it's chaos, a storm of disbelief, anger, and self-doubt. "This is my company," his mind screams. "I built this place from nothing, in a garage. How can they do this? How dare they?" The questions spiral, turning inward, becoming more venomous. Did I fail? Was I wrong all along? It was more than just losing a job. It was an attack on his very identity. If he wasn't Steve Jobs at Apple, then who was he? The visionary, the leader, the maverick. All those titles were stripped away in an instant, leaving him exposed and adrift. The world he had created, The universe that revolved around his vision had just ejected him from its orbit. He was a founder without a foundation, a king without a kingdom. He reaches the main exit. The glass doors slide shut behind him with a soft whoosh, sealing him off from the world he created. He stands on the pavement, blinking in the unfamiliar afternoon sun. The air is quiet. The world outside oblivious to the personal earthquake that just leveled his life. In that moment of profound humiliation, standing alone with his box of discarded memories, something else began to form. A flicker of clarity. This wasn't just an ending. This couldn't be the end. The firing didn't break him. It was beginning to redefine him. He had a choice. He could let this moment crush him, fade into obscurity as a Silicon Valley cautionary tale. Or he could rebuild. He could start again, and this time build something so powerful, so undeniably brilliant, that they would have no choice but to watch in awe. And so he began again. No fancy title, no corner office, no board of directors to answer to. All he had left was his obsession, his unwavering taste, and the burning conviction that he had been right all along. He started a new company, Next. He bought a little-known animation studio called Pixar. He was free from the constraints of corporate bureaucracy, free to chase the wild, impossible ideas that had gotten him fired in the first place. He poured his anger, his humiliation, and his relentless passion into his new work. He wasn't just building new products, he was forging the weapons for his return. This was the next chapter, the secret training montage where the hero, cast out and broken, quietly sharpens his skills, preparing for a comeback that would shock the world. That red X on a piece of paper. It wasn't the end of Steve Jobs' story. It was the beginning of the version of him that became a legend. The rejection, the public humiliation. It was the crucible that burned away everything but his core genius. It forced him to evolve, to become smarter, more strategic, and ultimately, more powerful. The lesson here is profound. Sometimes, the most painful, soul-crushing rejection you will ever face isn't a signal to stop. It's the universe giving you a violent push onto a different, better path. It's the exact moment your real journey, the one you were truly meant for, finally begins. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.